Alright, so we're going to look at Farmall serial numbers today. This has been something I see a lot of. I see a lot of it online, on Facebook. People ask me, what year's my tractor? What does this mean? What does this X1 after my serial number mean? What does FBK mean? And we're going to go through all that today. Alright, to start off, we're going to talk about the basics. So you have 3 different sizes of tractor that we're going to be talking about. The Group 4, the Group 6, and there's a Group 9, but we're not going to talk about it today. Highlighted in red are the Group 4 tractors. Highlighted in blue are the Group 6 tractors. So the idea of a group of tractors is you can take an engine or maybe transmission parts or wheels or something and swap it from any model within the group. For instance, you can take a motor out of a gas M and put it in an MD just by changing a few parts, or by taking a motor from a W4 and putting it in an H. So we're going to talk about 4 subgroups inside of our size groups of tractors. And I'm sure most of you know this already, but I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page as we go into this. We have row crop tractors such as an H or an M. We have standard width tractors such as an I4 or an 06 or W6. We have track tractors like a TD6 or T6 or TD9. And we have industrial power plants like the U4, U6, U9, and so forth. That includes combine power plants. U motors are identical to what you find in combines. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some serial tags like this one, and we're going to talk about them and tell you how to decode them. So this is a T-Track D diesel 6 size. And then you have TDBK 3214. TDBK is the prefix to the serial number for the international paperwork that goes behind all of these, so that they could determine which models we're talking about when they start listing serial number ranges. This particular one has a 4-digit serial number that puts it squarely in 1940. So this is one of the common ones you'll see. It's FBH, then the serial number, and then X1. So FBH tells you the model, it's an H. The serial number tells you what year, 1942. And the X1 means gasoline standard gearing, standard altitude. So this is basically the same as the other one. You get the same FBH, and then 112068 X3B. So the X3 is the fuel type, that's kerosene, and B means for 5,000 foot altitude. If the B wasn't there, then it'd be standard altitude. Or there's other designations for other altitudes like 8,000 foot. You'll find gas tractors, X1 tractors, that also have the B suffix meaning 5,000 foot altitude. This list here shows the X1, X1B, and X1C for standard 5,000 and 8,000 foot altitude, respectively. So the tags change a little bit around 53. You end up with tags that look like this. Super M is the model. L indicates Louisville Assembly Plant. The serial number, which is 1953. And then the J is found on all super tractors, indicating the super clutch, as I understand it, or sometimes referred to as the Rockford clutch. So kind of the same deal here. We have Super H, serial number, and a J. Same, J means Rockford clutch. Serial number puts us as a Stage 2 Super H, December of 53. So then you ask me, now Doc, how do I know what year it is? Well, you go to Google or Bing or whoever you use, and you punch in Farmall M. And then you scroll down till you find tractor data. Tractor data is full of useful information about any old tractor. And then you look and see what your serial number falls in the serial number list. So they recorded each year what the starting serial number was, and they went consecutively after that until they hit the next year. So if your serial number is, say, 95,263, then you would go, well, it's more than 88,000, but less than 105,000, so it's a 1945. But then you ask, can you narrow it down even more? I say, why, absolutely I can. The Wisconsin Historical Society has graciously posted the serial number breakdowns by month from the 20s up to, I think, the 70s. So all you have to do is find the year you're looking for, and you can see on here it's broken down by model and by month, and it'll tell you roughly when your tractor was built down to the month. Just remember that M's, M cotton pickers, high crops, M diesels, and M diesel high crops all share the same serial number range. And also it appears that all the 6 tractors possibly do also. So W6, I6, O6. So that means you can't directly narrow down from this list how many of each particular submodel was built. So some of these other tags, I've got the letters filled in because they're kind of hard to read. But this is a Super M, and they stamp it with diesel and J for the same clutch. But we have F, which is the Farmall plant or the Rock Island plant. And then you have a 1953 serial number. So this tag is what most people consider the holy grail of Farmalls. This is a Super M diesel, and you have serial number for 1954, but the S is the big ticket item. That's your moneymaker. That means it's a Super MTA. As I understand it, the S specifically indicates the torque amplifier. And absence of that would not necessarily mean that it's not a Super MTA. It just may have come with the TA delete option. This is an extremely rare tractor. This is a Super H V, meaning high crop or high clearance, serial number 23967AJ. So 23967 sticks us right in 54, so it's a stage 2 Super H. It's a high crop. A indicates kerosene, and then J is still the Rockford clutch. The owner of this tractor indicated in a Facebook post that this was possibly one of 5 produced. I wanted to throw in some other weird stuff here. So this is a French Super C. You can see where it says SFCC, I think, which would be Super French C, and I don't know what the second C means. I'm not fully versed on these. And then it says down there 1850 RPM and the serial number. I was hoping to find a tag from a British tractor, so we would see basically the same thing, except it would say BC or BM or BH, which would be British M. There's lots of really cool stuff in the overseas tractors, like diesel Cubs and diesel Farmall Cs and all kinds of weird stuff. It's definitely worth checking out the foreign stuff. So here's another cheat sheet for the suffix codes. So you got like X4 is the shop mules. You should check those out. X5 high altitude operation. X6 low speed gears. And then you have variations of that. You got all kinds of stuff in here. X17 for distillate tractors. Here you've got the kerosene codes, the X3, X3A, B, C. And then you've got like the high-speed gearing up there for gas tractors. There's all kinds of stuff buried in here. All right, so you already saw the top half of this, but the bottom half, this is where the cool stuff is. So I don't know what an Auburn clutch is. Never heard any references to that, or adjustable front axle heavy duty. I'm thinking maybe that's an I thing, like an Industrial 6 or Industrial 4. But the 3 X20, X20A, 20B, 20C, those are cotton harvesters. So those are extremely rare. This is a cotton harvester based on a Farmall M. Sometime I'll do a deep dive video into what these are and how they work and why they're built backwards and all kinds of stuff like that. But these are the rarest tractors, I think, that are a Farmall M variation. They're basically impossible to find. They did not build very many of them, and most of them have been scrapped since then. So I've been doing a lot of research on these recently, and they're very difficult to find anything out about because there's so few pictures or information out there. But if you check back there in the serial number papers on the Wisconsin Historical Society, it shows MCH, M Cotton Harvester cereals. They don't change for 4 months in 1946. So that means they didn't build any cotton harvesters for 4 whole months. So that indicates to me they didn't build very many of them. So I've heard people say maybe 12 a year or 10 a year. They did make an H variation as well, but I've only come across at least one tag, and I don't have his permission to use those pictures, so I don't want to post things without permission. I've seen one tag for an FBK CH, and when I put this on screen here, I typed it in wrong. It should be FBK MCH, I believe. And then your serial number, and then it'll end in X20A for a high drum picker. A high drum was a taller one, as I understand it, and then there was a low drum, which is a different suffix. I don't know if any of you have seen the Classic Tractor Fever video, I believe it is, where it's the 10 most wanted variations of the Farmall M. They don't even mention these because not a lot of people know they exist, and there's basically no demand for them either. I think we should really try to conserve them if we can find them. A lot of them have been disguised as MVs, M high crops, because they're very easy to convert back to an M high crop and be a semi-useful tractor outside of being a actual cotton harvester, which nobody has any use for at this point, other than the intrinsical historical value that goes along with them being the first self-propelled cotton pickers of the era. I appreciate you staying to the end here from me rambling about cotton pickers and geeking out over serial numbers. I hope somebody was able to learn something from my ramblings. Please share the video, like the video, so that way it can spread out to people who want to know more about their serial numbers on their tractors. Like I said, I get a lot of questions about them. And you all have a nice day. Thank you.